Hey guys, welcome to today's video. Sorry that I missed last week's video. I often get asked to put my Reborn collection up, and I'm guessing that means my current collection, but I thought I would just do a whole sweep through all of the babies that have been in my collection. Now, I have had some extras that I wouldn't say that are in my collection, and there's been some other babies that kind of have been in my collection, but I don't want anything to do with them. Here is a look at my collection over the past few years. Gosh, that's embarrassing. Almost 10 years. My first ever reborn baby was technically a Behringer doll. So my mum bought her home from the Salvation Army. I don't have a lot of photos of her, and not long after I had a friend and she actually sent me my very first real reborn. We did like a little box exchange, and she's like, oh, I've added something else in there for you, and she gave me a whole baby, which is amazing. As most people know, I don't bond very well with the tiny reborns, and this baby was a preemie reborn. I just didn't bond with her very well, and I ended up passing her on a little while later. I know this is like a reborn video, but I just thought that this added to the story. So my first two babies was the Behringer, and then I got the real reborn that a friend made me. And then after that, the first baby that I bought myself in this was a real care. I ended up with an African American female real care Gen 6 baby. This same friend, she sold me the first real care, and then she was selling her Caucasian male. To this day, I still technically have this boy, but I have put him up for sale. I haven't added the rest of the real care photos, but from there I basically was buying bulk real cares, and I was replacing their parts and fixing them up and selling them on. So that's kind of just what got me into all of this. I'm not going to go on with any more real cares. This is the last real care photo. I was looking on Facebook one day, looking to like hang out with people, and there was like a reborn meetup kind of close to me. So I was like, can I bring my real care along? And they were like, yeah, sure. So I took my real care along to a meet and met some lovely ladies, and there was a head in the corner. And I was like, oh my gosh, I love this baby. Like, I can't wait to see it done. I want to buy her. And the artist is like, oh yeah, sure. So when she was all put together, she sent me some more photos. And that was the first ever reborn that I purchased myself. So that's Alora, and I had her for years. You can definitely tell which babies I have owned longer just to the amount of photos I've got. You can also tell which babies I liked taking photos of, because some babies just photographed so well. I started a connection with that artist. She was local to me, and I saw this little boy that she had for sale. Honestly, I don't know Alora's kit name nor this kit name, so he was my boy, because I always said I wanted a newborn boy and a newborn girl, and that was it. I was happy with that. But they were like my twins, and I dressed them in their little matchy outfits. I decided I wanted a bigger baby, so that is where Easton came along. So I know the sculpt of this one. This one's Easton, and I was so excited to have a bigger baby that could wear like size 1 shoes. She's only 0 to 3 months size, but she could wear like so much more variety than just the newborn baby. So that's when I stopped dressing my newborn baby like a grown up and started dressing my newborn babies like babies again. This isn't over like a 10-year period of time, which is nuts. Because I had a big girl, I had to get a big boy. So the same artist again. So Easton didn't come from the artist that I've got Alora and Arlo from, but Onyx, which is the Landon sculpt, did come from the same artist. He stayed with me. I think he's got to be the longest or the second longest baby that I've owned, but he was with me for so many years. Like, honestly, you can see by all of the photos that he was well loved. I still like his face and his head to this day, but if I look at his hand, it still to this day gets me. The sculpt, he has a straight hand and it bothers me. But for years I absolutely loved him, and then all of a sudden, yeah, I don't even know what happened, but I saw the straight hand and I was like, nope, I can't do that anymore. I can't remember when I sold each and every baby, but I do know that when I got Onyx, that Arlo looked so so similar that I was like, nope, I don't need to keep both. I would just keep one or the other. So I decided to keep the bigger one because he had more clothing options. And I think I may have had plans to buy a partial silicone. So that was the next baby that came along. I had a partial silicone. I can't remember the sculpt, but I remember that I named him Phoenix. After my partial silicone, I got a chase by Bonnie Brown, and he was named Nixon. This is the famous Nixon that I have had forever. This is what he started out as. And you will notice as I go along through my collection that I replace babies with other babies that are looking similar. And that is a thing that I've done a few times throughout my collection. Yeah, because I have this collection in my mind, and I guess that's what I'm going with. But yes, lots of photos of little Nixon as well, because I loved taking photos of him, and he was such a favorite. Gotta add more to my collection, so I decided I wanted a monkey. The monkey comes from when I was little. I had a little monkey named Zachary, and he had a friend, and I can't remember off the top of my head what his friend's name was, but I had 2 monkeys, so I decided to get another monkey. I still have my monkey to this day, actually, so if we're going on the longest one that I've had in my collection, that's just been one item, then I guess it is my monkey because I still have him. Then I decided I needed a toddler, so that is Liam by Bonnie Brown, and he stayed for quite a while, but he was just like a fluke buy, like I wasn't looking for a baby. And then I got a wolf pup, so little wolf pup girl, by the same lady that did my monkey. So I saw one, and I never thought that I would get one of these, but I don't know, one day I saw that lady that made my monkey make one, and it was just so cute, and I was like, I have to have that. So I bought a wolf pup. Again, a spontaneous purchase was Summer Rain. Her name was Ciela, and she stayed in the collection quite some time. She was just like so cheap and so well painted. Now, I'm not 100% on my timeline here, but I think that I got my full body silicone next, or at least around this time somewhere. So, I don't know, I got a full body silicone, I bathed her, I thought she was really cool. I went through a phase of liking her and then not liking her, and also sold her on too. But I had some really fun times with all of the little outfits that you could put on them, that you could have her belly out, and you could take photos of her just in her nappy, and just little bits like that. I had a really fun time with that. Yes, Tobiah by Laura Lee Eagles. This was Isabella in my collection. She has just literally sold, maybe a few weeks ago. I just feel like I've done every single photo possible with her, and I didn't know that it's a thing, but as a collector you grow and you change styles of your collection, and I just have an artist that I absolutely love at the moment, and I have decided that open eyes are not necessarily my thing at the moment either. I went through a phase where I didn't mind open-eyed babies, but at the moment I'm not feeling them, so I'm back to closed eye babies again. My avatar baby. This was one of those, again, spontaneous purchases, and I had to wait ages to get her because she had to be made, and again I saw that this artist made them so well. I think it's the fact that she paints the body and creates a tail for them that it just makes it so much more amazing. I mean, the paintwork is amazing too. I also love that the feet and the palms and stuff were still skin colored. I don't know why, it's just added so much more depth and realism into the doll for me. But she didn't stay in my collection very long at all. Another chase. So I wanted a twin to Nixon, but it's literally impossible to get a twin unless they're made at the same time, or unless it's by fluke. So I decided that the next chase would just be a girl, and then I did the twin girl thing for a little while, and then I decided that I didn't need a twin chase girl, so I sold her on as well. And then I got my earlies by Alicia Toner, so this baby is still in my collection to this day. I thought about selling her a little while back, and I'm still not sure. I think I want her to stay in my collection as of right now, but who knows, everything could change. I have a new collection in mind that I'm aiming towards. I have one that will be posted on at the start of next week, and then I have 3 other babies that are being made and or on their way. So we'll see how I go at the end of that. Then I found little Ducklin. Little Ducklin was I think I just saw him and was like, oh my gosh, I have to have him. I remember seeing the post, so many people wanted him, and they're like, no, sorry, he's sold. And I was like, haha, he's mine. He has just left my collection, probably quite a few months ago now, around the first quarter of this year. He was such a sweetheart, and he took the cutest photos. A friend was like, oh, if you do sell him, let me know. And I was like, I'm selling him. And she's like, oh my god, okay, yep. So he got sold. Now we have Tessa. Saw the photos of this artist. It was actually a Laura. I saw a photo of her doing a Laura, and I was like, oh my gosh, I have to have a baby from this artist. Obviously the Laura was sold, and then this was the next baby that come up, and I was like, I need her. So I bought her. It worked out really well because I could hybrid her. She was a good size for that, and I kept her as a hybrid, and I thought she was great. And then I decided to sell her on, and I made a new hybrid for myself, so she came and went as well. But that's how I found my artist that I loved. So this is the artist that I'm loving on at the moment. So Laura must have come out, and Laura, as soon as I saw the kit Laura, I wanted one, but I just needed to find the right baby. I saw this one pop up, and she was a pretty reasonable price, and I was like, why not? So I grabbed her. I really loved her sculpt, but I wanted one with darker hair. But I obviously, I was just gonna keep her until I found another one that came along better. So then I got little Huxley. So Huxley was just an open-eyed baby that I thought, why not? I wanted a bigger baba because I had all closed eye babies, so mostly closed eye babies. So this started to be my open eye baby phase that I started going through, where I was like, I don't mind having so many open eyed babies. Later on I did hybrid him, and he was my hybrid, and he's in a few of my videos, but just recently I have sold him on. After Huxley, I got Dustin. So Dustin is from the same artist that made Tessa, and I absolutely loved his paint work. He was such a sweetheart. I also hybrid him, but with a Gen 6 box. I hybrid him first, otherwise I might have considered putting the 2+ in him and keeping him. So after Dustin came, I really knew that I loved the work from this artist, and I asked if she would paint me a Chase by Bonnie Brown, and she did. She painted me Nixon. So I have replaced Nixon, the old Nixon that I used to have, for this new Nixon. So it's a different baby, but it's the same baby. So technically I didn't want to strip the baby and have the baby redone, so I just sold my old Nixon, and then I got a new Nixon. But he has the same name, he's the same kit, so he's technically the same baby to me. But I had the opportunity to sell Ducklin, and I saw this Levi come up for a really cheap price, so I was like, why not do a swapsy? So I sold Ducklin, and I got this Levi. That was the going from open eye babies back to sleeping babies kind of thing. So he's one of the newer babies that I have in my collection. I technically have had a Levi before, but he didn't stay very long. His painting was just not right for me, so I just sold him on quickly. But this Levi is pretty cute. And the latest baby that I have in my collection is actually Laura by Bonnie Brown. So I'm sure you guys have seen Laura posted around. I took her for my trip up to Brisbane not very long ago. So I literally got her, and I think the next day I took her to Brisbane with me. So I feel like you can see throughout this video that I do swap and change babies out. But I have some extra babies coming, and once they get here and I decide how I feel about them, then I'll see who's staying and who's going, and I'll have to do an updated video of my current collection. So I just thought I would show you guys the extra videos, like I said, that some of the babies I've had haven't been my babies to keep, but there's some really cute ones, so I just thought I would show their photos at the end. So these have been in my possession, but just technically not in my collection kind of thing. A lot of these babies have also been hybrids. They've had the Real Care box installed into them, or some of them have had like a breather box installed into them, or a baby talker box installed into them, just stuff like that. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Comment below what your favorite baby is of my collection. I think you all know that Nixon is pretty high on the list, but like I said, there are some new babies coming, so who knows what will happen to that list. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you guys in my next video.